Well, it's not really Lance. It's Dell. Dell is in. Brian is in. Lance is lazy, right? He didn't want to get up this morning because he was at the Senior Bowl.
His story is that practices have been moved up early, so he doesn't want to miss them, so he can't do the show.
Yeah. If you miss this show, I mean, then you're just a bad person. Okay.
Look,
this week,
it's been
last week. Last week it's understandable. This week, you're a terrible.
I don't know what's the difference between this week and last week.
Big difference. You don't know the difference between these 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, one guy is missing the show because of his other job that he gets paid for.
Yeah.
The other guy missed the show last week because of golf to do with his friends.
The most important golf tournament of the year.
Did you make it count?
And you're worried about it.
Did you make it count, missing the show?
Yeah, I made it count.
Did your team win?
Our team did not win,
okay,
unfortunately.
You didn't make it count. So you missed the show and didn't even win. So you're a lazy loser is what you are.
Well, I'm a couple of those things. You may be right about that.
A double L.
I'm not, and you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm
you don't
okay
mind.
with both of those.
But Lance in here, he'll be back. He'll be doing the show Thursday from Mobile because I guess he's not going to practice that day, or they don't practice, doesn't care about that practice, but he won't be here for the next 2 days.
Okay. But he's doing the show from there on Thursday.
Yes, I believe that's the case.
Got it. It's great to know what's going on in the show.
Well, didn't he tell you?
No, he don't tell me nothing.
I feel like there's a text exchange.
I feel like I don't read. Whenever I see he texted.
Why? Well, you're a radio partner for 25 years, just ignoring.
Yeah,
ignoring what he says.
That's what happens after 25 years of working together,
like a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Stop listening to things.
It's not like that at all. I listen to when my wife texts.
It depends on the marriage.
Yeah. Okay. That is true. That certainly is true. So big night last night. We had I had both of the games going on. It was hard to watch the Rockets.
Because they were up by so much?
Yeah, it was not an interesting game in the least.
Yeah, the Lakers came in like a team who had a very emotional win a couple nights ago against the Warriors and decided, you know what, defense optional. We're just going to give Jalen Green straight line drives for the first quarter, and then when Cam Whitmore's in the game, we just let him dunk all over us, and it wasn't very competitive. Shout out to the Rockets for taking advantage of a Lakers team that wasn't very interested in playing basketball last night. You did have some Dylan Brooks against 2 Lakers. I mean, he hit LeBron in the face, and he pissed off Vanderbilt enough to get thrown out of the game.
He's such a, and when he hit one over LeBron, he's going backwards in LeBron's face. I mean, not only did he hit him in the face, but come on, dude, that's LeBron, and you're not. But he don't care. Now, just a game out of 10th right now. That was a pretty big game because the Lakers now 24-24. The Rockets down 2 in the win column. So they're 2 games behind. If they should win, they would be tied. If they should win both of those games, they would be tied with the Lakers and the Jazz. I mean, it's still a ways away from the postseason, but that's a good win. And the Lakers are just they're just piss poor, if you want to know the truth. They're not any good.
No, they're a team in flux. They're probably going to make a trade to make another run with, or try to, with LeBron. This is a team who was kind of like this last year and made a conference final. Now they got swept by the eventual champion. So there's always going to be a belief there that if we have AD and LeBron, when it comes to a playoff series, we can find exploits. But the regular season, they're probably another team that doesn't care very much about it. They don't want to be in the play-in. But it's probably something they feel like as long as their 2 guys are there, they can go win 2 play-in games and then go to the playoffs. But the Rockets have beaten the hell out of the Lakers in home games here in Houston. They had an 18-point lead and a 21-point lead in there, I think, at halftime of the 2 games that were here. So they've taken advantage of the Lakers in Houston. Rockets were a great home team. Now they're just a pretty good one. They've had some losses recently. So the Lakers are meh, but they're Lakers exceptionalism will have them believe that we're just a trade away and a playoff win away from changing things. And it kind of worked out for them last year. Now, except they ran into the best player in the NBA last year and they lost. But right now, they're an average regular season team. The Rockets took advantage of it.
Yeah. No. They're just at best they're an average basketball team. And I don't know. There's the Kyle Lowry stuff. Is that hasn't happened yet, right? Because last week there was a lot of talk. He's going to be the next scapegoat for the Lakers when he signs over there. And
I don't know how you're going to make a 37, 8-year-old guy a scapegoat. I don't know how
well,
you do
Russell
it.
Westbrook caught it,
Well,
right?
yes, but yes, Russell Westbrook is still a better player than Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry is going to be a buyout guy, or maybe Charlotte trades him. They somehow get something from the Lakers. But how do you make a guy who a Heat team who's in the midst of a 7-game losing streak discarded and say we don't want you anymore? They trade him for Terry Rozier. You can't make Kyle Lowry the scapegoat. He's too old to be the scapegoat.
Well, no, they'll find it. Well, because it's LeBron, he'll find a way to make him the scapegoat.
I guess it all depends on if he's traded for anyone. Like if they have to give up pieces for him, I can't imagine anyone's giving up pieces for Kyle Lowry. I know the contract states if he actually does get traded, some salaries are going to have to go back Charlotte's way. But you can't give up anything for that guy.
Are we done with Austin Reeves as one of the great players in the NBA?
He's another guy who got a deal, but probably a deal far smaller than some people were projecting. Some people were projecting he was going to get like $80 million in the offseason. Lakers didn't really have a challenger for him, mostly because I think everyone believed that the Lakers would always match an offer. He was a restricted free agent. I think we're done believing he is some mega piece. He's a nice fourth guy, possibly for a good basketball team, but the thought that he would elevate himself and become the third piece of that big three was something I didn't believe, and it's played out that way. He's a nice player, but he is just that. He's a nice player. That's it.
I can never get over Jeannie Buss, saying the 5 best Lakers of all time and put LeBron in there and not Jerry West. I every time I see the Lakers, I think of that, and I think of how disrespectful that was. That LeBron James, you would call him one of the greatest Lakers of all time.
He's one of the greatest players to ever play for the Lakers, but he's not.
Yeah, right.
He's not the
No.
If you
If you were going just by, but not greatest Lakers of all time. But yes, he's certainly one of the 5 best players who put on a Laker jersey. But he's nowhere near one of the 5 greatest. Not even close to one of the 5 greatest.
LeBron is the greatest player, the greatest Cav ever. He's not the greatest Laker ever. He's not the greatest Heat player ever. But he is one of the greatest players to play for the second 2 franchises. But no, he's not. He is a great player who happened to play for the Lakers. That's all it is.
Watching Pat Riley last night, disgusted with yet another loss.
Yeah,
they were. Your team's bad.
They're bad now. Yeah, they were 8 games above 500. Now they're a game. That's what happens when you lose 7 in a row. And they've been non-competitive. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's out there now. I think it was on one of the bottom lines. It's the longest losing streak in Eric Spoelstra's tenure.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's never lost 7 in a row there. Now it's where it's what it is, and it could be the end of this particular version of them. They made a trade, as I mentioned, to bring in Terry Rozier. He finally had a nice shooting night last night. But the Suns coming off 2 losses where Devin Booker scored a lot of points and they lost. They found a wooden animal themselves to play, and they got the win. Yeah, watching Riley sitting next to Morning. I didn't really have the sound on because I was watching the Rockets play, but I had the game on. And yeah, I could imagine what he's thinking, but he's been around. And I mean, the Heat will tell you, hey, we were the 8th seed last year and we found a way. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to bank on. And like, what, you've got till mid-April to figure it out. And if they do, so be it. If they don't, I'm sure people get shipped off to places. But the Rockets won. And then the game that was far more competitive and had far more interest for me was the Cougs.
Here's some Cougs.
I'll put them on the spot.
Cryer handling. Cryer probing. Jumper. Cryer wouldn't fall, but the flush from Tugler. Oh my goodness!
That was late in the game, and that was OT. There was an OT, or was that late in regulation? I forget.
I would have to.
I think it was late in OT, and Tugler had 3 huge plays. It was OT, right? 3 huge plays down the stretch. I'm gonna tell you, he's a awkward. He's a freshman. He, other than the rebounds and the defense, and he played some defense last night as well. He got 20 minutes. Damian Dunn got 12 minutes. Otherwise, you want to talk about a short leash on the bench. Holy cow. He's playing his starters. Kelvin Sampson is playing his starters. There was one time out where they showed you could just barely see Kelvin Sampson's, the top of his head. But boy, was he getting on his team. They had just taken, I believe, a 3-point lead in overtime. And was he chewing them out? Was he in their faces during that timeout? And they were able to hold on. It was late in overtime, but somebody was catching it there. This team is so much fun to watch when they. It's so
hard.
hard.
Is it fun to watch them play?
Because of their offense.
Their offense keeps teams in games.
They absolutely do.
And it's because it is at points. It is get the ball up on the rim and offensive rebound and see if you can get an easy putback. Sometimes there's no flow. Shed will make a couple jumpers, then you feel pretty good about yourself, and then you'll go 4 to 5 minutes out scoring a field goal. But they can rebound, they can play defense. It keeps you in games in college basketball. And just the difference between watching the Rockets, Lakers, and the Cougs and the Horns play, it's the difference between the NBA and college basketball. The college basketball is all about defense and rebounding, and the NBA, depending on the night, defense is optional. And just to compare the two and watch how the games are played, the physicality that's allowed in the college game.
Well, and just the intensity too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's 82 over instead of 35, whatever the regular season total would be as far as games. But the Cougs went into a place where, for Cougs fans, it was a big deal. The first game in Austin, in the Big 12,
it was a big deal for them too.
And
that crowd was.
Sure. They needed it. Texas is struggling, and they needed a win, and they didn't get it. But it's the only time the Cougs will play Texas in Austin as a Big 12.
Yeah,
as a Big 12 opponent, and they went in there and got the win.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll play again. They may. We'll see. I don't know. But I love Kelvin Sampson's quote. He says, "You know what? The respect that we get now, we get everybody's best effort, and it is a big game whenever the Cougs come there, and it's going to be a big game on Saturday as well when they go to Kansas. What a week for the Cougs, and what a game last night. Just back and forth. Actually, the Longhorns actually shot better than the Cougs did. They shot 43% to 41%. It's rather unusual. It's not because the Cougs are such good shooters, but because usually they play such stifling defense. That Texas got a lot of looks. Adams is a nice player they got from Oral Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
He's a career 20-point-a-game guy, and he's a nice player. Mitchell's a nice player. We know Dsu from a couple of years ago, from a couple of years now. Hunter as well. That's a nice team. I don't know what the deal is. Rodney Terry got that long-term deal after they made a nice run. They're not playing up to their expectations.
It is interesting that he got a long-term deal coming off the back of blowing a 13-point second-half lead that would have got to the Final Four. I know a lot of things go into why he got the deal, but I did find interesting that, hey, you maybe you didn't fail miserably, but you blew a chance to get us to a Final Four, but to give you the deal. And he's already had his whole horns down rant, so it hasn't been a great run for Rodney Terry this year. But Andrew Carlson, who works here, he went to the game. He did? Yes, he went to the game. He if you don't know, he's the producer for Connor and Beard. And at one point he tweeted, "Man, the Cougs defense has really let him down." I was like, "Has it?" And then he's used to holding teams to 30% shooting.
Yeah, right.
He's used to that. So anytime a team gets above 40, it feels like the Cougs are playing awful defense.
I was really surprised though. I was too. I was like, watching the game, I'm like, holy crap, they're getting shots that the Cougs normally don't give up.
Well, Texas is a talented basketball team, not living up to its potential, as you pointed out. But the Cougs found a way, because when Shed made a couple shots, along with I forgot the other guy's name. They made 3 straight threes on 3 possessions.
It was Sharp.
And then it felt like they had wrested control back, and then Texas fought their way back. But the rest of the game felt like the Cougs imposed their will, offensive rebounding, getting the defending, getting on the glass, and that's kind of their formula. And they found a way in a hostile environment, a game Texas really wanted, really needed.
It was about 8 minutes or 7 minutes left in the second half, and Shed made a couple, and then Sharp made one, and Sharp was in between, whatever the case may be. That was huge. They went on. It was 3 straight trips, I think, or maybe 3 out of 4.
They were down
trips.
by 6. Texas.
And they took.
Dsu, you mentioned, hit a 3, and Kelvin Sampson had to call a timeout, and they missed. Of course, the Cougs missed a 3. Sharp missed one. They got offensive rebound. Shed made a 3. They got a defensive stop. Shed made another 3, and Sharp made another 3. So 3 straight possessions. Yeah. 9 points, went from down 6 to up 3, and it went back and forth the rest of the way.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun game. Despite the offense, it is a fun team to watch. Especially, I like watching them play defense more than I like watching them with the ball.
Of course.
With the ball, it's like, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Shed took an. I mean, I know you want the ball in his hands late, and nearly the last shot of overtime. I think the Longhorns got up a desperation shot. Last shot of, the regulation. He airballs a three, and Sampson, the look on his face once that ball hit the touchline, he was disgusted. But Shed's your guy. You live and die. But I imagine maybe Sampson wanted him to try to get to the rim. They survived the last desperation shot by Texas, found a way in overtime, and now they're 19-2, 6-2 in conference.
Yeah, and top 5 team in the country, and deservedly so. And because of the way that they play. I don't know if this is another Final Four team because of their offense, but man, it's just so funny. It's the same all the time. Every year it's the same. They play such tenacious defense, and they just can't shoot.
Well, Kelvin Sampson has talked about what you have to be a guy who he recruits and signs and wants in his program. So part of it is that mentality. And for whatever reason, and I'm sure it's very difficult to go find a skilled offensive team that can also defend. Apparently, you can only get one or the other, and if you can find both, then you're a title contender. Now the Cougs may make enough timely shots and get on the glass enough to make another Final Four run, but we're always fearful of a drought.
Yep.
And the other team has a really good night shooting, like they saw in the Sweet 16 last year, and you're like, oh man, how did this end? We thought we'd get to a Final Four in Houston, and they just had a bad night last year in the Sweet 16. Hopefully, it doesn't happen this year.
Yeah, and it looks like Tugler just might be their next Juwan Roberts. He always finds a guy like that, always. All right, 713-780-3776. Next Monday and Tuesday, we are going to be at the Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Dell's going to be there too. He wants you to come. He wants you to come and hang out with him in the sports bar. We'll be watching Big Monday there. We'll be betting on games there in the sports book. The poker room is right there if you like that. I love that. That's where you will find me as well. But the sports book is just probably, it's if not the best sports book I've ever been in. It's hard to beat it because it's spectacular. If you're looking for a great place to watch the big game or any game, it doesn't matter. When you are there to go and get your table and hang out and watch games there, it just doesn't get much better than that, especially the NCAA tournament that's coming up. Reserve your table for that weekend because that's so much fun to watch all those games and have the betting right there. Casino, restaurants, nightclub. They got concert venues. There's nothing that you can't do. Pool, that's just spectacular. Golf course. You're looking for the best place to play just 2 hours down the road, the Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. GoldenNugget.com/Lake Charles. Visit the website now and book your table. GoldenNugget.com/Lake Charles.
You're back in the Veritex Community Bank Studios with John Granado and Lance Zerline.
Welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. 713-780-3776 is the number if you'd like to get in here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Lance, no, he's not locked out. He didn't forget his key card again. That's why he's not there. That's not it. Okay? So, just so you know. He's not here. He's at the Senior Bowl. And he's going to be out tomorrow as well, and he'll be here with us Thursday. 713-780-3776 is the number if you would like to get in.
I like the position that as he chose Mobile over his work and his family.
He took what?
He chose Mobile over his job and his family.
Well, he chose the Senior Bowl.
Well, it's Mobile.
It is. Yes, I guess you could say that it is Mobile, but it's also his job, his other job. Right?
Yeah, so he chose one job over,
right,
over his
right. His
this
job is more important than us, apparently,
and his family
than we are. Right. Well,
that job has always been what he's considered most important. I mean, you haven't noticed the trend?
Yeah, no.
He doesn't miss NFL stuff for this job.
No, but I think he loves this nerd stuff. He loves to stand next to scouts and coaches and just talk. He will talk to a scout about a guy for about 45 minutes, and I can't imagine why that guy would ever answer his call again.
But they all love it. So
I know they
met
love that
a kindred
stuff.
spirit.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, man. What are we doing?
How much? Wait, I know his left arm didn't really get up in time on that one rush.
And he has the
to stop that.
He has the gall to talk about anything nerdy that I might talk about because I like sci-fi stuff. And stop it! You're just as nerdy just because it's about football. It doesn't make it any better.
No, I mean, no. It's funny. Lamar is really catching it.
I'm not surprised. It was supposed to be this year. They were dominant. We know how badly they beat teams with winning records. They were at home. I didn't realize it was the first ever title game in Baltimore. It was the first time they've ever had a title game as the Ravens. And it was supposed to be the year. Despite what the Chiefs had done the previous 2 weeks, it was supposed to be a relatively under par Chiefs offense. And you had them at home, and he committed 2 turnovers. Look, the strip sack is one thing, but the throw in the triple coverage, that's the one that's going to leave the mark. You're trying to come back. Sure, Zay Flowers had already made a big mistake, but you're still in the game. You don't turn the ball over there. You have a real shot, and you throw a bad ball. And it's all the things people say Lamar can't do. He was in the pocket. He threw a ball down the seam in the triple coverage. Can't read a defense. Right. All the things they will talk about as why he can't get it done, and distilled into one play. And that's what people are going to remember. The inability for the offense to do anything, and that throw in the triple coverage, which wasn't even close. It was underthrown.
So Evan, I don't know who he is. Evan from the show before us brought this up, and it's interesting, very interesting. The last time an MVP didn't go to a Super Bowl, a quarterback MVP.
So, who was the MVP last year?
Pardon me? It's a long time ago. Don't go by last year.
So, was Lamar 2019?
No. Not the year he won it. Ever went to a Super Bowl.
Oh, ever went to Super Bowl. When's the last?
Yeah.
How long ago was it?
1980. Brian Sipe. Brian Sipe never made a Super Bowl, and he won an MVP in the league.
Now I get the question. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lamar, if he doesn't do it, will be.
If Lamar never gets there. Now Lamar's got a long way to go.
Yeah, what is he, 26, 27?
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. But he's going to win multiple MVPs. And there's no multiple MVP winner that never went to a Super Bowl ever. If you've won multiple MVPs, you've been to a Super Bowl. You've been you as a quarterback. Not as a.
I don't want the Brian Sipe comparison if I'm a quarterback. I don't want to be compared to Brian Sipe.
No, Brian Sipe is not a good comparison. John Brody never made a Super Bowl. He is in there. Fran Tarkin did make a Super Bowl. Burt Jones never made a Super Bowl. So there's just a couple of quarterbacks actually ever, three quarterbacks ever that have won MVPs and not made it to the Super Bowl. Roman Gabriel did not. Roman Gabriel with the Rams, he might have made a Super Bowl. Roman Gabriel might have made a Super Bowl.
Well, it would have to be the one they played the Steelers, right?
Right, the Rams. No. That was Vince Ferragamo. Roman Gabriel never won made it to a Super Bowl either. That was Vince Ferragamo that made it to Super Bowl. So, if you're an MVP, quarterback MVP, and if you're a multiple-time winner, which he probably is this year, right? And we're just assuming that he's going to be the MVP.
Sure.
You got to get to the Super Bowl, and he's got a long time, but he's not trending well. He does not play. I mean, the stats, and did you see Patrick Mahomes has now played 17 postseason games. His stats are better in the postseason than they are in the regular season. That is amazing. 17, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards, I think 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He was much better this year. He wasn't very good. He wasn't a great quarterback at all. And he goes back to the Super Bowl playing great football in the postseason. That said, they still can't score in the second half.
No.
But with the early line coming out, I mean, batters jumped on getting 2 points or 1 point from the San Francisco 49ers. And we were talking about it yesterday. You know, Lance has a friend of ours, he just said, I'm betting 15 against 13 all day. And it usually works out.
Yes.
The better quarterback is going to win it. And, oh, by the way, when two head coaches face each other for the second time in a Super Bowl, the head coach that won the first game wins the second.
And frankly, we've seen the 49ers be vulnerable defensively.
Yes, we have.
We've seen it the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately for the Packers and the Lions, the Packers couldn't take advantage of the first half when they were in the red zone 3 times and only scored 6 points. This time was the Lions doing what the Packers couldn't do in the first half, and then turnovers and drop passes, and Dan Campbell stunted them in the second half. So the 49ers have and probably will give up points. Now the Chiefs' tackles aren't great, but the interior is pretty good. So we'll see if the Chiefs can run the football like the Lions were able to do, and the Packers could have done if they kept giving the ball to Aaron Jones. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Chiefs' defense, I think, is the best unit in the game.
It is. Of all of the units, I think it's strength on strength. It's going to be San Francisco's offense with all the weapons.
Yeah.
And it's probably, rank them, I would probably say it's Chiefs defense first, 49ers offense second, 49ers defense third, and believe it or not, Chiefs offense is probably the 4th best unit out there.
And the problem for the 49ers going against the 4th best unit being the Chiefs offense is that they still have Mahomes, who will do something and Kelsey will make a play now this playoff time that can elevate a drive or half, particularly the first half, and make plays where you think they have them completely defended and extend drives and score points. So I agree with that ranking, but the problem is the 4th unit has the best player on the field.
Yep. Let's take a break. Let's take a break here. When we come back, I mean, I was sitting at a poker table yesterday, and a guy goes, we were talking about the Texans, and he's like, man, all this salary cap, they're going to be able to do a lot of stuff. Are they? Are they, though? Are you, though? We'll find out. Let's talk about it on the other side, right here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Currently, in the Veritex Community Bank Studios, one is a renowned forensic blood splatter expert, the other, an appointed master of haberdashery. It's John and Lance.
Welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. I want to get this right, but I'm pretty sure I saw before the Texans cap, because cap nerds are, you better be pretty accurate, like to the penny. Texans cap, he's on top of all this stuff. But I'm pretty sure with his adjusted cap, he said the Texans were somewhere in the neighborhood of $59 million, while Spot Track has it at like 72. And he was like, well, there's adjustments that they didn't make, nerdy adjustments that they didn't make. So,
and DJ Bieneme, who makes appearances on this very station, according to, I guess, the ESPN people who do cap stuff, the Texans have roughly $61.86 million in cap space. So multiple sources saying different things about how much money the Texans have
everybody's
to spend.
got a different cap number, okay? Everybody's got, I don't know what kind of math you use, but whatever. It seems like everybody's cap number is just a little bit different, okay? So whatever the case may be, if you got about around 60 million, right? Let's just say that. You got, look at, okay, just Kaimi Fairbairn's $4 million. I mean, is he going to need a raise?
Nah, you missed that kick in the playoff game. Beat it.
No, you don't just beat it because you missed a kick in a playoff.
Get out of here.
Although that cost me. I would have won the pool for the first
You heard the Ravens gave them momentum after they lost. Yeah, you bring back Kaimi Fairbairn. He's a really good kicker. You need one of those. I got a question regarding your defensive end. Jonathan Grenard is going to ask for quite a bit. Josh Allen's also a free agent, the defensive end for the Jags. If you felt that he had any interest, would you make a run at him?
I love Josh Allen.
Instead of retaining your own, would you make a run at him?
Well, I mean, here's what he says about the Texans. Cap says about Jonathan Grenard, his history. Okay, this is way too. See, when you get into nerdy stuff, it's really, really hard to pick out exactly. His market value on Spot Track is going to be 13.4. That's a big number, seeing as how he made last year, Jonathan Grenard, 1.146.
That man showed up to get a pay raise.
Yeah, he did. And just, I mean, look at the production compared to the rest of the league at his position. He's going to get paid. Are you paying him 13? Because there's 12 more. I mean, everybody just assumes, well, look at all the cap space that they got. When you're talking about, you got to replace your starting tight end. You got to replace at least one of your starting defensive tackles. You got one corner that is out, Steven Nelson, your starting cornerback that is out. You've got your running back done. Your depth at wide receiver gone. Your depth at safety gone. I mean, you got more than a few defensive backs. John Weeks coming back, okay? He was 1.3. I think he just signed last week, didn't they say he's coming back? I think John Weeks is coming back. Anyway, that's your snapper is taking up a 1.5. This cap, all this fallacy about all this cap room that the Texans have. They're going to be very limited on what they're going to be able to do. Plus the new draft picks that are going to be coming in. Not that they're going to be high draft picks, but at least, 23rd overall plus, an extra third rounder this year. This is not going to be, let's go out and the other thing is you have to make all the right decisions, and God bless Nick Caserio. He did a tremendous job this offseason, and I think he was executive of the year, and I don't even know that it was close. Although, like you said, you like the Rams and what they did.
At least in the draft, and the Lions will say, "Hey, look what we did as far as drafting players, and what those guys did as far as getting us to a title game." So I think because of the quarterback and the defensive end being the high picks, that certainly helps Nick Caserio's case, and he made some smart free agent signings as well. And then if he gets credit for D'Amico, that's another thing in his favor too. So I don't know how they make that formula work. Does hiring the coach become part of the process too? If it is, then he's going to win because the other head coaches are already there who I think are in contention as far as the executives are concerned. As far as Jonathan Grenard, if you're going to pay him a lot of money for what he did this season, would you just say, hey, if we're up in that range where we're giving him, what'd you say, 13?
That's what the market value
now,
is.
Josh Allen had
allegedly
17 and a half sacks. Now, he's never got to that level before. I mean, he's had a 10.5 sack season his rookie year. The last 2 years when he was healthy, 7.5, 7. So 17.5 is astronomical as far as his previous production. If he's commanding 18 and you're already giving Grenard 13, would you go give $5 million per more for the better player?
I thought Josh Allen was the best player on the field when they played here. I thought he was the best player on the field, period. I don't. Yeah, but here's okay. You go from you're
this
paying.
Is your CeeDee Lamb thing. Remember, we had this talk about Nico and a pick for CeeDee in our very hypothetical. That's not going to happen. Now I'm giving you not that I don't know if Josh Allen wants to be here, but if he does,
would I pay $5 million more to have Josh Allen? Yes.
Okay,
I would.
Because
I saw Jonathan Grenard do it 1 year, and Josh Allen he came on. But what I see is Josh Allen is spectacular.
Now Josh Allen maybe.
But you're going from 1.3 to 18 million on that side.
Understood. But you're either that or allegedly 13.
Right.
For Grenard.
Either way, it's going up. Or you let him go, you let Josh Allen go, and you draft. I mean, but if you're going to be now, D'Amico did say defensive line is going to be a huge priority. Sheldon Rankins gone. He made 8.75 last year. He is 9.75 last year. He's a 9.9 player. I would trade. I mean, he's a little bit older. He's going to be 30 next year. But I really like Sheldon Rankins inside. He's got to stay on the field. That's going to be awfully important. But he's not getting a pay raise. So you're just going back to where you were, and I will take his production this year. Dalton Schultz, you're getting a pretty big pay raise, about $5 million. They think he's an $11 million player from 6.25. I mean, he showed out. Steven Nelson, 4.5. They've got him at $10 million here.
10.
Yeah. Yeah, so George, you got George Fant you got to replace as well. That's depth on the offensive line because guess what you need? Depth on the offensive line because they're not injury prone, but Titus Howard has got to stay on the field.
The Texans are in a tough place because these are all players who helped you overperform expectations. But what was your valuation of them before the year? Are you going to get sucked into this 1 year of success and think these are all building blocks for the future and you need to pay them a lot of money? Or are you going to value them at what you were and go, well, this is really about D'Amico's coaching and CJ Stroud, and these guys are ancillary pieces that we're not going to give a lot of money to because we love what they did for us in this exceeding expectations year, but they're not guys that should be making this money.
Well, the cautionary tale is Dameon Pierce. I mean, look at the high expectations that we all have for Dameon Pierce. He can't get on the field. So, I mean, he was your shining light last year coming out of last season. Oh, we got Dameon Pierce. We got a running back for years to come. Can't play. So, that's going to be huge. I mean, I guess Juice Scruggs is going to be. I guess Derek Stingley is going to be Derek Stingley if he can stay on the field. I guess he's going to continue to play that way. I guess Will Anderson is. I guess CJ is. You have to assume, I guess, that the young guys that played really well are going to be that, but they're not. Not all of them are.
Now, if you want to give Grenard money, I'd get he's only 26, I believe. So you think that guy has 3 to 4 years of being a really good player if he can match the stats. But Dalton Schultz, a good player, a fine tight end. But how old is Dalton Schultz, and how much is he going to want
20,
over how many
he's
years
he's going to want? Okay,
so he's fine. He's not 30, so that's good. But I am just interested to see how the Texans' value is placed on these guys and whether they overreact.
I think Dalton
season.
Schultz made himself some money with someone else in the league this year.
But he was always this player, even with Dak. Now, for whatever reason, the tight end market wasn't great last year, so he came here and played well. But did he overexceed what he's always been? He's been a good player. He just
no, but it proved,
the market
Ferguson proved that he was interchangeable, though.
Yeah. So Dak likes to throw the tight ends. That offense, even under Mike McCarthy, will throw the ball to tight ends. If Dalton Schultz didn't look to me like he was any better than he was in Dallas, and he played with a good quarterback and he put up numbers. So if he was worth what he was last year, other than loyalty and you had a good year, why are you exceeding what you thought the value of was him?
Well, I don't know.
Double the value.
What is the I don't know what is the. I mean, he might have taken a much bigger cut. I don't know what is the value. I mean, it almost looks like the Laportas, the Kincaids, the Knoxes, the Schultzes. They're almost like the same guy. They're almost all the same guy.
Yeah, and it was a good tight end draft last year, and you saw some of that play out with Kincaid and also Laporta, certainly. So I don't think it's the same tight end draft this year. Lance has talked about it. The Schultz one, a friend to your quarterback, and you always want your quarterback. You don't want to take weapons away from your quarterback, particularly a young player.
But can you just find – I mean, is this now just –
I don't think you can just find another Dalton Schultz. I think he's a good player. But maybe the Cowboys are really good at drafting tight ends. They've done it over the years.
Well, how about if Brevin Jordan actually steps up?
Well, he scored a touchdown
I know
in the playoff game.
Well,
what do you mean if he actually steps? He did step up in the playoff game.
No, he's got to step up and be the guy now.
Well, I don't know if he's that guy though.
Why not?
I think he's a second tight end.
Why? Why is that the case? Why can't he be the guy?
Because how long has he been in the league now?
3?
And have we seen anything to suggest that he can be the guy?
Well, we've seen flashes, yeah. You know what? Actually, early on, he caught a couple of touchdown passes from CJ, and then he had the huge play in the playoffs. Why is it he can't be more consistent and be the guy?
The Texans didn't think he could be. We'll see. John's doing a hand sign that one university would not like if you did it against them. Like if you were at the Moody Center last night,
yeah,
and you did the horns down.
I didn't do that. I did.
I know, but
you don't.
I know, but it doesn't bother me like it bothers Texas people.
Right, no.
That's all.
Right, no. Well, you're not soft like they are. 745 ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. The point being from that segment, that all this Texans, you got all this cap room. Huh? What?
We'll see.
Wait and see.
Wait till you have
with inflation.
Grenard $13.5 million.
Yeah.
And how much guaranteed? We'll see how the cap room looks like.
Yes,
bringing back
Nelson
players
more than doubles his.
This is what I'm saying. Did the Texans believe these are building blocks or just guys who overperformed?
Yeah, or you know what? Nick Casero's got to work his magic again this year and find a bunch of guys that can come in here and play. A bunch of free agents that might take even. Dalton Schultz might have taken under market value. Steven Nelson had something to prove. Sheldon Rankins had something to prove. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that came in here. But you got the Charlie Hexon, the George Fanson. You got offensive line depth. I mean, everywhere you have got a lot of holes to fill. The Texans have a lot of they signed a lot of 1-year and 2-year deals. So they got a lot of holes.
I'm sorry. You can't make fun of my attire and have me pay you a lot of money. Sorry. If I'm Caserio, I'm like, I remember what you did. Sorry. I gave you extra money this year, but I'm not giving you a long-term big money deal if you make fun of what I do. What I wear.
Beat it with my vest. And every time I put on my vest, it's not that vest, Art. Art's like, oh, John's wearing a vest. It's not that one. It's like the sweater vest that he wears.
With the Texans logo on it.
Yeah. No.
If
That's not what I wear,
John,
Art.
Put on your vest. If you want to see John's vest, you can go to YouTube. John may put on the vest and show you the difference between his vest.
Mine is a cool vest that like the cool kids wear.
Yeah, because those exist.
Yeah.
ESPN Houston is what you search. And you can see John's cool vest maybe later in the show.
Yeah. No. Thank you. Thank you very much. Time to talk right now about HRMP. My peeps over there at HRMP and what they do for us. It's at the end of the year, and here's your W-2s. Here it is. It's all perfectly done. It's the Affordable Care Act for our business. They take care of that. It's tax time now, and it's an easy time. While it might be at your business, like scrambling, and oh my goodness, I don't get this, and this is so difficult, and by the way, we can't make any mistakes because we might be fined by the government, or we might underpay our taxes, and God forbid we do that because now we got the interest on that. Get people that are perfect at this. You know who's perfect at this? HRMP. You know what they do every day? They are experts in the Affordable Care Act. You're not. This is not what you do. What you do is you sell your widgets. And even if you have CPAs there or whatnot, are they experts in the Affordable Care Act? Or are they using a lot of time and resources to get this done when HRMP, it just is, the technology is second to none, and you don't have that technology. So if you're looking for a great, come tax time, the HRMP really, really earns their keep. You're looking for that new payroll company, HRP.net, 281-880-6525 or HRP.net.
Back to the Veritex Community Bank Studios and your daily distraction from the horrific reality of your very existence. Man, I didn't know it was that bad. But hey, it's John and Lance.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. So, yesterday, big game. This is hard to say. The Timberwolves and the Thunder playing a big game for first place. Listen, I'm going to tell you who's scary is the Thunder. Chet Holmgren actually looks like he's the right pick. They've got like 50 first rounders over the next 3 years and that's a good basketball team right now. And you want to talk about stockpiling, but we were talking about it before the show started. How are you going to pay all those? How are you going to get all those young guys and improve? But if you can package those picks into – Lance was talking about Donovan Mitchell like he was available for the Rockets or something. I don't know.
He's not, because Cleveland is playing really good basketball. There was a thought because Garland and Mobley got hurt that it will be time to pack it up for Cleveland because Donovan Mitchell doesn't appear to be a guy who's going to re-sign. But they're playing really good. They're not going to trade him the way they're playing. Now, it may come back where he doesn't re-sign with them, but Cleveland's just going to take the chance.
Boy, I could certainly see him.
At least right now.
I could see him with the Thunder and giving up those picks for him.
I could see it, but then you still have to imagine, does Donovan Mitchell, after spending time in Salt Lake and now Cleveland,
maybe
does he want to spend time in Oklahoma City? That's what they're always going to have to fight.
Yeah.
Does a star want to spend time here?
Well, do you want to win? Because it looks like they've got an organization that's ready to win.
This is the way those guys sometimes think. Sure, I want to. Paul George was like, sure, it's nice here. And then he signed an extension. Oh, wait a minute, I want to go back home. So that's it'll always be a worry for them. And like I said, Donovan Mitchell's been in the league long enough to think, I'll just go to New York. I mean, they're playing pretty. There's another team playing really good basketball right now. Send me there. I want to play there. I think I can win there. It's what Oklahoma City's going to have to fight. If they can keep homegrown guys, that's their best shot. Attracting a free agent with short time left on his deal and then convincing him to stay. They tried that. They got Paul George to sign, and he still left. I don't know if they want to deal with that. Now they got Gilgeous-Alexander out of it, so it worked out for him.
Right. No, well, right. I don't know what the strip club situation is. I know James Harden ain't going there again.
I don't
He
know
had
if
to get
Donovan
out.
Mitchell likes strip clubs.
I don't know what that situation is. I know he ain't going. He's not going back there. But you got to ask yourself. Listen, I want a guy that says I don't care about that. I want to go to a place that I want to win. And I don't know. Donovan Mitchell. Did we ever hear him saying he had to get out of Utah?
It wasn't ever. No, he didn't ever request a trade. Kevin McHale took that job, and he wanted to reboot. Didn't think Gobert and Mitchell could win, and probably was right. Now Gobert's on the best team in the West, and Donovan Mitchell's on a really good team in the East. So those are two really good players. But I don't think he ever made it public. But I'm sure there are rumblings of him wanting to get out and go to New York because that's what we all thought was the destination. But he wasn't as public as other guys.
Yeah. So they played last night, the T-Wolves, and the T-Wolves won it. Anthony Edwards had 27, I believe. Anthony Edwards played a good game, but Anthony Edwards, he had a couple of comments, one during the game and one after the game.
Well, they were both after the game. One was caught when he was talking to his teammates celebrating the win.
Okay.
The other one was in the post game.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
with
during
the
the
reporter
game.
on
cheat
on the court.
Okay. So which one are we playing first? Or
Let's play
combined?
him in chronological order.
Okay.
This is him talking to Rudy Gobert. They're doing a little hand slap after the win, and you can hear the on-court mic catch him saying what he thought of the refs.
Points, but contributions all around, a team effort in this one.
You can't really understand it.
I heard him say, well, I already know what he said. He said cheating ass refs. Now that you know what he said,
Cheating ass.
cheating ass refs.
I wish it was clearer so we could just use that as a drop.
Yeah, for us. But play it again, Brian.
Points, but contributions all around, a team effort in this one.
Ass refs.
Cheating ass refs was his take on the game after the Wolves pulled out a hard-fought victory over the Thunder. They won on the road 107-101 to take over first place in the West. Now we're going to hear a much clearer Anthony Edwards. Didn't call him cheating ass refs, but he did say enough to get himself fined, and he acknowledged he probably will get fined.
And tonight it was the battle amongst the best in the West. You guys take sole position of number one in the West. How did you get it done in this environment?
I don't know. And I'm going to take the fine because the refs did not give us no calls tonight. We had to play through every bump, every grab. I don't know how we won tonight. Big shout out to my team. Big shout out to my coaches, for sure.
Cheating ass refs.
Points, but contributions all around, a team effort in this one.
We've all said it at some point.
Right.
We've all said the refs are cheating ass refs. I'm looking at the box score to see if he has any validity. I mean, I didn't watch the game. I was watching the Rockets. But let's see the free throws. The Wolves shot 15, made 13. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shot more free throws than the whole Timberwolves team did last night. He went 15 to 16 from the line. The Thunder went 17 to 22. So the only guy who really got a lot of calls was the guy who handled the ball the most. Gilgeous-Alexander got to the line quite a bit. Now, Anthony Edwards saying, I handled the ball quite a bit too and did not get those calls. So he only got to the line 4 times, and Towns got to the line 8. So, I mean, if we're just looking at the Gilgeous-Alexander example, and if he's frustrated by the calls that another star perimeter player got, I could see what he's talking about. But the free throw disparity wasn't that great.
Speaking of free throw disparity.
And the foul calls, it was only 19 to 17. So the Wolves got called for 19. The Thunder got called for 17.
Who was it that tweeted out yesterday, which you weren't listening to the Rockets and neither was I, but it was pointed out on the broadcast that the Lakers have gone to the free throw line more than any team, and they drive to the basket less than any team.
Yes. And this flies in the face of some of the stuff we hear, and it's not unique to the Lakers because all NBA players complain about this. Like LeBron will complain all the time about how, and Laker fans will complain about LeBron drives the lane and never gets calls because you see him get hit or his head flies back or he's always looking at why I didn't get a call. But the Lakers as a team get to the line all the time compared to the rest of the league. And it's not surprising.
It's not surprising in the least. It's just ridiculous.
Have you met a fan base who thought they were
the Lakers
fairly
have shot
refereed?
233 more free throws coming into this game than their opponents, far and away ahead of the second-place team, the New York Knicks. Oddly, the Lakers are dead last in drives to the basket.
I think that oddly was sarcastic. It's not oddly.
No, it is odd.
No, it's not odd. That the Lakers.
How can that be the case? You don't drive to the basket, and yet you shoot
What?
233 more free throws.
Let me spell it out for you. Lakers. Lakers. They
Lebron.
that too. He will get calls. The Lakers will get calls. It's accept your fate. It's accept your destiny. That's what it is.
That's ridiculous.
It is what it is, John. I'm not surprised. It's not odd because they're the Lakers.
That is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. 713-780-3776. On the other side, is Amen Thompson becoming a locker room cancer?
What did he do?
We'll talk about it on the other side right here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Don't go anywhere. It's a stupid open.
You don't like it?
It's a good song, though.
You don't like it?
You don't know
I like
anything
it.
about. You don't know anything about Led Zeppelin. Nothing.
I know they stole other people's music.
They didn't steal any music.
The first album they did.
No.
Yes.
Did you know that Ian Anderson and Robert Plant had beef?
I did not know that.
Ian Anderson to Jethro Tull, because early on, one quote by Ian Anderson said, "If I wrote their music, we'd be unstoppable." Because Led Zeppelin was pretty much just, I want to have relations with you, girl. That's pretty much.
Okay.
And Ian Anderson's I didn't understand half of his stuff. But anyway, just a little side bit that you people out there may not have known, but Ian Anderson and Robert Plant had beef. And Ian Anderson regrets the quote, just so you know. So that back to this century.
Yeah, I was tuning out while you're doing that nonsense about beef.
That was neat stuff, John. Neat stuff.
Oh,
Neat
you
stuff.
got hit with me.
Thank
I was going down there. Rolling Stone has a list of Led Zeppelin's 10 boldest ripoffs, where they're just stealing people's music and pretending it's their own. And you know what the top of the list is, John?
What is it?
From their debut album, "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." I don't know that song, but apparently
Babe,
that's
I'm leaving.
Babe,
I
I'm
must
Gonna
be on
Leave
my
You.
way.
Yeah, apparently it's their biggest, boldest ripoff.
Well,
Tell you, man. Give me that. That's what they was about. That's what they're about.
Everything is a ripoff. There's like 4 different riffs. That's it in the whole in all of music.
That's 10.
Okay.
10, they got 10
in
of
all
them.
of music.
They got 10 of them, John.
Okay.
Your idols just stealing
No,
music.
I don't love Led Zeppelin. They were great, but they were really good. They were good in concert. Jimmy Page was. He was awesome.
You can work
Anyway.
on your performance when you don't have to write in them songs. You're taking it from
You
people.
just steal them.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. You can work on a live show.
It was pretty cool. They had a light show where off the end of his guitar, laser beams would shoot, and every time he hit a note, the laser beam would shoot into the crowd. It was pretty
Whatever. I've seen laser tag. Ain't no big deal.
cool. No, well,
And who did they steal that from?
I'm
from
sure
laser tag?
some guy who invented laser tag, I'm sure.
So nobody, Rockets Enjoyer put this out there. So nobody else saw this. So Jalen Green has come to the bench. Jabari Smith is sitting there, and he's sitting next to Amen Thompson. And, you know, this happens a lot, I think, between basketball players. Hey, move over. He wanted to sit next to Jabari. Jalen wanted to sit next to Jabari. And Jalen goes, hey, scoot over. There was an empty seat to the right of Amen Thompson. Amen's like, what? Get out of my face. And anyway, Jalen gets him to get, and Amen finally goes, you know, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Yeah, sit here. And he goes away. And Jalen's like, no, just sit here next to that open seat.
Just move over a seat. That's all.
Just move over a seat. And Amen was like, get off me, man. But he did come back and actually sit there.
Yeah. Is that why you asked if he was a locker room cancer?
That's what this is what McKitchen is dirty says is Amen. Is it Amen or is it Jalen? And Amen's like, do I look like Josh Christopher?
I thought that was an off the air thing we were going to joke about.
Are you trying?
I thought we were gonna just leave that joke off the air. It's a joke
Do I
made.
look like you're Josh Christopher?
I don't know if that's something they joke about.
I don't know that
locker room.
Amen is the cancer here, but man, Jalen has got a reputation
of what?
I mean, guys don't want to sit. It looks like he doesn't want to sit next to him.
I don't know if
because you never know what's going to happen.
I don't know if he doesn't want to sit next to him. I think that's, hey, why do I have to move over? Just why don't you sit? Why don't you?
Well,
sit?
you're a rookie.
Yeah, that might have been what it was. Why don't you sit in the open seat? Now, like we said, look, appears because it cut off because it wasn't a focus of the broadcast. It got cut off. It looked like Amen Thompson came back and sat down. But all it looked like was, hey, I don't want to move over. If you're going to ask me to move, I'm just going to go sit farther down the bench. And they figured it out. It's whatever. It's not a big deal in a Rockets easy win over the Lakers. I just don't know why you have to bring stuff that we discuss during breaks to the show.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, maybe Amen, says, I kind of like that about you. I ain't gonna be your Josh Christopher here.
I don't know if that was a thought. I said, hey, you ain't gonna make me move over.
You're a rookie. You got to move over.
And he moved over eventually.
Well, he did, but he was PO'd about it, and I don't like it. You want
Amen Thompson.
I want our team, but
cohesive
listen,
and
yeah.
everyone,
but listen, if it turns into a 30-point win over the Lakers, then I guess I'm okay with it.
I don't know. I think that was in the fourth quarter, right? The game was in hand, and the Rockets had a very nice night. Jalen Green, another nice night. That's 3 out of 4 where he's had a really good night.
No, Jalen was good.
He attacked the basket.
Yep.
Early and often.
He actually didn't he hit some threes too?
This is the third
what's
game
going on with Jalen all of a sudden.
Third game in 4 where he's played really well, and Cam Whitmore had a really good night too. Had a sequence of 3 straight dunks on the Lakers.
Dr. Whitmore is actually curing Jalen Green?
No.
Well, yeah. It seems like ever since Cam Whitmore has come on, all of a sudden Jalen's like, whoa.
I think Jalen
I
Green.
got to get better.
I think Jalen Green.
Dr. Whitmore.
I think Jalen Green is supremely talented, and he'll have nights like last night and the nights against the Blazers and the Hornets. Didn't he have in his rookie year a stretch of like 30-point games?
Yeah, well, that was on a really crappy team. This is a team that just beat the Lakers. That's different.
You just talked about how the Lakers aren't any good.
And Şengün went off for 31, and Jabari got his, and Dylan Brooks got his. Man, the Lakers defensively, holy crap!
They gave up 140. Now I think it might have went to 2 OTs or something, but they gave 140 plus points to the Warriors. The Lakers on the road. They had no interest in playing defense, and credit the Rockets for taking advantage of it. But the Jalen Green point remains. Let the whole season play out. Do we need to react to every game that's a good one or a bad one? The whole season will tell us what he is, and he's had a really good stretch.
I don't know, will it? We'll see.
Yeah, well, what's he going?
Well,
if the season compares to his previous two, then we know for 3 straight years he's been a 17-point game in that range. Actually, maybe he wasn't 17 last year, but he's like a 40% shooter and a 33% shooter from 3.
Let the whole season play out. Good. That's all fine and good. The question is, are you going to be able to pay him and Şengün?
You don't make that decision now. The Rockets don't have to make that decision. That's why you let the season play out. Maybe you even go into year 4 and before you make a real determination. That's what the rookie contract is for. Will they have to pay him? They might. If we're going to react to what he's been the last 3 out of 4 games, they will. But if he's the guy we've seen for 2.5 years, they won't. So I think the Rockets are in no rush to make a decision, and rightfully so. Let Jalen Green be whatever he's going to be over the next year and a half, and then you have a decision to make. But right now, you're just fighting, and you hope he plays well, and you try to get into the play and see where it goes.
Yeah, you got this year and next year, and then he'll be a restricted free agent. So you got the club exercise their options. He's going to make 12 next year, but it's going to come due with he and Şengün. It's going to come due. So it's going to, you're going to have, and you're going to be out of Fred VanVleet after a couple of years, which is nice. I mean, but if here's the deal: is the difference is that you've got Cam Whitmore here. You don't have anything behind Şengün.
Yeah,
that's going to be an easy. That's an easy decision.
Sure, and Şengün has been the far more consistent player, potentially an all-star, if not for the depth of the front court in the West. But the Jalen Green decision is going to come after another 115 to 20 games. He has all that time to prove what he is, and if there's a potential playoff run in year 4, then great. Then maybe he solidifies himself. The Cam Whitmore thing is great because you don't have to pay him for years too. So you can pay Jalen Green if it comes to that and still have a backup guard, or maybe Cam Whitmore eventually becomes a starter, depending on how they want to structure their lineup. I just think the back and forth for Jalen Green every day to determine how good he is seems reactionary when he's going to be a Rock unless they make a big trade for another year and a half. Well,
yeah, you got a year and a half. Yeah, no, but I can't go game. I mean, can't go game by game with this. He. You know, what would be nice is if it was consistent. Now, if he continues to play like this, like he has over the last week and a half, holy crap!
Yeah, if he becomes what we want him to become, and all of a sudden the gulf between another 21-year-old, I think Anthony Edwards might be 21, 22, the gulf between those two players becomes smaller and smaller. I know people point to Jalen Green, he's only 21. Well, Anthony Edwards at 21 last year was a star, a superstar in the making, and that's only become a bigger thing for him this year. He's gotten better. So if the gulf between those two continues to shrink, then the Rockets have something. And if not, over the next year and a half, you see that the gulf widens because Anthony Edwards becomes a guy leading a team to a potential conference final or NBA finals, then the money decision gets made and then you move on. But that Jalen Green has a long way to go, and so the Rockets before they make a big decision.
Look, these last 4 games it's gotten him up to this month 29% from 3 and 42% from the field. And he's had spectacular games. It wasn't that long ago, just a week and a half ago, we were talking about, man, this is awful.
This is what I'm saying when people...
He was, in the month before, 37% from the field. 37% from the field and 32% from 3.
This is when people are talking about, how can you give up on him at 21? Why would you use the last couple games and ignore what happened over a long stretch in January and December? Why would you put more weight on the 3 games where he played well before?
But that's what Jalen truthers do. than they have been doing for the last 2 years. Is, oh, he scores 30 a game. Who cares? First of all, on crappy teams, and secondly, it was sporadic. And this is now trending really, really well. You got to give him his props when he plays well, because you got to take it away from him when he doesn't. He's playing well right now, and hopefully this continues. If this continues, then he makes all of those decisions a lot harder. But right now, if it was right now, there's no question. And I have no insight in the organization. All I'm saying is, look at it with your human eyes. There's no conversation here. It's Alperin over. If you can only pay one of those guys, it's Alperin over Jalen.
Yeah, I'm not sure who would even be having this conversation other than people who staunchly love Jalen Green for a myriad of reasons. He was supposed to be the top guy in the rebuild, and it turns out a guy you drafted in the same draft is that guy. And Jalen Green has a chance over the next year and a half to maybe not ascend to Alperin Şengün's level, but become a player the Rockets have to actually make a real decision on. Because right now, if he was asking for the rookie max extension, he wouldn't get it, and the Rockets wouldn't even consider it. But he's got time to make it a conversation.
Yeah, we got time. All right, so decision making. There is a soccer player who, I don't know. You and I think, differ on this one, on his decision.
Oddly, we disagree on something.
On something, yeah, that we will talk about on the other side. But right now, I'm talking about Daisy Dip. I'm talking about you're watching games. I'm talking about you watched all the playoff games. You're watching your NBA games. You're watching your college basketball games. Whatever it is that you're watching, you need chips. You need dip. You need pretzels. You need wings. You need pizza. Where can you get your ranch dip? Get your ranch dip from Daisy. Daisy Dip. They make the sour cream. They make the cottage cheese. Now they make the dip, the French onion and the ranch, and they're awesome. You're looking for, awesome flavor. They become addicted. I love a good dip with the Ridge potato chips. They're fantastic. So you're looking for that game changer for you. No MSG or other junk. I'm telling you, the taste is amazing. So addictive. Daisy Dip.
Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's time to rejoin the undisputed best sports talk show in Houston. It's Clearly John and Lance, except no substitutes.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Kyle Walker is a star. How big a star?
He plays right back for one of the best clubs in the world. Man City won a Champions League. They've won multiple Premier League titles in a row. They're one of the best clubs in the world, and he's one of the reasons why.
Yeah. So apparently he's an enthusiast.
Of what? Women?
Yes, he's multiple women. Now, I don't know if it – listen, so here's the story. Kyle Walker, his soulmate and best friend
Is his wife. Despite
Is she, though?
his proclivities.
Is she, though?
Can you be a soulmate? Can you cheat on your soulmate and best friend?
I don't know that that's the case.
It's not generally something that goes together. When someone says you're my soulmate, it doesn't really lead to me having children with another woman.
Right. Because usually if I'm your soulmate, then I'm, that's who I think about, and that's who I'm.
Who I'm only thinking about, and I would never ruin the sanctity of that relationship by fathering a child with another woman.
A couple of times.
Yeah, I was gonna drop that. I mean, well, maybe two. If it's two, does that make?
I could see we're all human, weak. So he met this influencer whose name is Lauren Goodman.
Always a problem.
British influencer.
When her job is influencer, you're already in trouble.
He met her to the point where he impregnated her.
That's certainly meeting someone.
Right. Mistake. Sorry.
I mean,
sorry.
It's a mistake because you got her pregnant, or is it a mistake because you cheated on your wife?
Well,
Which one's
both.
the mistake?
Well, you might have gotten away with it, so mistake. I think
Okay.
if you didn't impregnate her, right? Yeah. Good, not good.
Not good for
Not
Kyle.
good.
No,
Not good for Kyle. Haven't explained that to your soulmate.
your best friend.
Best friend and soulmate.
You can explain it if his best friend was named Dave. You can explain that to Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Oh, Dave, you go, I get it.
Yeah, but not if the best friend is also the wife named Annie.
And soulmate.
Yeah.
Soulmate, I think, might be a little misleading.
Maybe you have more than one.
Well, you have more than one. But you apologize, right? The first time
Of
it happened.
course, you made a mistake.
It was a one-time mistake.
Never again, Annie. Never.
No.
Until the next time.
Or
until you do it again.
So, boy, you want to talk about drama.
So some of the facts in this story. Kyle Walker, we mentioned what he is as a player, but he also has now 4 kids with his wife.
4.
She's pregnant with the 4th child. And now
He is a serial impregnator.
yeah, he loves to get women pregnant.
Boy, he's like the Lance of Man City.
Except he's a much better athlete, and Lance has reduced that. It's constricted his impregnations to one woman.
Right. Well, no.
One woman at a time.
One
Woman at a time. He does have an ex-wife.
Yes,
one woman at a time.
Right.
Yes, Kyle has not done that. It's 2 women at a time, and sometimes both women are pregnant at the same time.
At the same time.
So
this is a problem.
The gist of it is Kyle apologized to his wife for the first infidelity and an affair that lasted beyond just the once. And then he found the woman again. Not found her. He probably knew where she was. He didn't go to a different woman.
No.
He went back to the same woman and maybe never left and impregnated her a second time while his current wife is also pregnant. So that's 2 kids on the way for Kyle Walker.
Both on the way right now.
Yes. And it gets messy because Kyle is now gone on.
Timing is off.
It's bad for him. When does he practice?
I mean,
I don't watch. Man City's not my favorite team, but I wonder if his performance is kind of ticked off.
It affected David Beckham.
It did.
It really affected him when he was in his prime and he got caught cheating on Posh. Did you watch the documentary?
I did.
It's pretty good.
It's one they danced around that particular subject.
It's so funny. I was cleaning my grill I grilled last night, and I'm cleaning my grill, and I'm thinking of David Beckham
Cheating on Posh or
No.
just David Beckham?
Did you see how anal he is about cleaning his? You
Oh,
remember
yes.
that? Yeah.
He has, as
He
you might
is-
imagine, he has a stellar grill and outside setup. and
Yes.
He is big on making sure that thing is.
It looks like it's brand new.
He points to not having a lot of money as a kid. Sometimes that happens when people didn't have a lot of money growing up, so everything needs to be pristine, and he's one of those people.
Right, and he says Posh is the op. Remember, he tell her, tell everybody what kind of car you had when you were a kid.
Yeah, she had.
Oh, no, David. Yeah, tell everybody.
What your dad got you, yeah.
What kind? Oh, a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
grew up in a very different
Yes.
environment, which I guess he likes to point out
And
sometimes.
so now he cleans his grill, and I was cleaning my grill last night, and my wife, we're watching this, and she's like, he is so great. I would love, why can't you be more like him and clean everything like him?
I
was like,
if I'm you, I'm like, do you know he cheated on Posh?
yeah. Okay, you want me to be more like him? I will. How's that?
I wouldn't threaten her with that. I would just when you're comparing yourself to him, I go, he's a cheater. Why are you?
Yeah.
Why stop
Okay,
it?
so he cleans.
He also cheats.
You know what? You can't have everything.
Look, women are just as shallow as men sometimes when it comes to that stuff.
How awkward is it now with his soulmate and best friend, Annie, who's pregnant with his fourth child, to now have how is this Irish twins?
I don't know.
Would that be considered Irish twins because they're born within the same year?
It's generally not. They generally don't make that when it's with
but
two different women. It's generally not where Irish twins comes from. But he went on the great part for us is he went on the Sun, which is a British paper, and had a sit down where he's apologizing and talking about how he ruined his family, has to take responsibility. It is remarkable. We don't get that here. Like, I don't know what the comparison for Kyle Walker,
Tyreek Hill.
but he didn't
What
go.
do you mean?
But he didn't go on. He didn't go on. I don't know.
Oh no.
The Miami Herald and have a sit-down interview with audio and discuss his infidelities. We're not going to get that from a professional athlete here. Kyle Walker was like, I'm going to have the sit-down. Did Tiger do it? With 60 Minutes or something?
No. But how about they put out a picture of the two of them? And it looks like they're
Why are
sitting.
why
They're
are they
next to
together?
each other at the game.
Well, Kyle,
Are they together?
is that like a Photoshop? Because how could those two
It
be
has
sitting
to be
together?
a Photoshop.
That can't be real.
Because the two of them there's a picture of the two of them, and looks like they're right next. They can't be.
Now,
No.
the most important
Now, this
question-
guy is in both.
Maybe it is.
Oh my
I don't know how that happened.
They both have the
Are we
same
sure-
water.
Are we sure those are the two women in question, or is one of them a sister? Is that Lauren Goodman and the wife? Lauren Goodman's the influencer, and
No,
Kyle-
this is his.
that's the wife.
That's the wife. I don't know. Is that Lauren Goodman?
I don't know.
I think the other woman might be the sister because the article is about the sister complaining about the athlete.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
That's probably
We'll
the
see.
sister, okay.
The most important thing for John, at least my question for John is, did Kyle make the right decision with going with the influencer, or should he stay with the wife?
That's the question. But here's Kyle trying to explain himself on national television.
It's a national paper,
Okay.
or at least a London paper, I guess.
Okay, but this is on their website though.
Yeah, it's on their website.
Okay.
There's been days in this ordeal where I've just wanted to curl up in a ball.
It's like Harry Potter stuff.
I feel that now is the right time. I feel that my family, the children, have been put through enough, and there's questions that need to be, answered within, my private life. I've had a second child, and hurting my best friend. That's something that I need to probably find within myself, that why I've done this and why situations have occurred, that I am human and I do make mistakes. I'm here on my own. My little one goes to sleep with me every night, and to not have him, see that, or see,
little boy.
say on FaceTime or good night. I'm used to it, and I'm not one to get emotional about certain things, but I'm used to being away for a long period of time with him, you know, with England or whatever it is in the World Cup, and you say night on FaceTime. So, but to know that I'm not with him by my mistake probably the wrong word, my choices.
Take some responsibility, Kyle.
There you go.
Thanks, Kyle, for finally taking some responsibility.
Well, I made a mistake. Well,
it's probably
it was a mistake.
A couple times. He made a mistake more than a couple times. The cheating and then the impregnating twice. So we're talking about multiple mistakes.
Apparently, he's not big on contraception either.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not naive to think that a professional athlete wouldn't be doing this with the influencer. But why the children? What's the need for the children?
Yeah.
I mean,
bringing them in? Well, it hurts me.
It hurts me. I mean, I can't be in bed with my little one.
Yeah.
John was like, "What little one are you talking about?" I was pretty sure he meant his little boy.
Okay.
I don't think he would refer to that as his little one.
Okay.
Maybe he needs a little rest from all the work he's been putting in.
Go to sleep one night.
Yeah, go to training, Kyle.
Yeah.
Get some practices
Let's
in.
See, go look at
What's your free
what
kick
his stats are like.
Yeah.
What are his stats like?
What are your crosses like at this point? Can you have any
really
energy?
Busy right now.
It's all cardio work. He's getting some work in.
Yeah, it's not really training per se. Not really.
Training for something.
I mean, we've got our own version. He's called Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Tyreek, unfortunately for us, really, he hasn't done a sit-down interview yet. He's pretended like people didn't file for divorce. He pretended like he didn't file for divorce, and then realized you can't lie to us when it's public. The court proceedings are public. So, someone did it without my authorization. But don't you have to sign papers to file for divorce? Don't the people involved, at least one of them, have to sign papers? So did someone go, did Tyreek have these on standby, and then he got pissed one day? File them! And then, wait a minute, I was just joking. Don't file them. Some idiot filed them. So we need a sit down from Tyreek. Who would do it? I don't know who this report.
Tom Rinaldi.
Nah, I don't want Tom. He doesn't have the right.
So Tyreek.
It would be. It would probably.
Tyreek, you got one woman pregnant, and now the other one.
No, 3. It was more than 2.
And then again.
And then one
at the same time. No. At the same time.
He has
2
right? women pregnant
at the same
and he
time.
got married, and he has a child with one. It's confusing, but not him. It wouldn't be Tom Rinaldi. It would have to be someone like who's Oprah's friend that does the sit down stuff.
Talking about Gayle King.
Gayle King. I think Tyreek will sit down in front of Gayle King and have that interview.
Yeah, Tom Rinaldi.
Tom Rinaldi's not getting involved in that.
So your porn career. Let's talk about that for a minute.
No,
Tyreek.
I was joking, Tom.
No, he wasn't.
I was kidding, Tom.
No, he really wasn't. Okay, he wasn't joking. He really would like to.
I don't know.
All right, 713-780-3776, the number to get in here with us on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Don't go anywhere.
John plus Lance equals a damn good start to your day. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's John and Lance.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. We really didn't touch on Neris going to the Cubs.
1 year with $9 million.
Yeah. No, I think it's
Was it
two.
2 years?
9 each.
Oh, 9 each. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2. And also, it looks like Matt Gage has been picked up. The Astros lost Matt Gage.
Were you?
The Yankees got him.
You were here when the Hader signing was official, right? Or did you leave that?
I was
okay,
here.
you were here.
No, I was here. I was thrilled. Lance, not so much. I was thrilled. I love adding a strength to a strength. I think that is like if you're great defensively in football, get or like look at the Dolphins. They're a contender because they've got so many weapons. And this thing, look, I'm watching Brian Baldinger right now. Well, there's your Astros talk. They actually picked up a couple of pitchers too, guys you don't know, but one guy that throws 99 miles an hour. His name is Drew Strotman. The Astros picked up, and Joel Kuhnel. They had Kuhnel. And Drew Strotman signed a minor league contracts with invitations to spring training. We'll see. If he throws 99, man, maybe we can use him in the bullpen. There's still a lot of there's still holes to fill. Whether or not it's going to be funny though. It's not like you could pitch him every day, but you've got 7, 8, and 9 locked up in big games.
Yeah, we talked to Robert Flores about it last week, and he brought up another trio for the Astros, Dotel, Lidge, and Wagner,
that's very similar,
as a 3 that he could compare this one to. Now we'll see what they look like when they're actually pitching together. And you think, is it Abreu, Presley, and Hader, or Presley, Abreu, and Hader? How do you think that 7, 8, 9 goes?
If you want to know the truth, I think it switches off a little bit.
Depending on the situation?
Yeah, I think it does. If Joe Espada is smart, if they've got guys coming up, you look ahead to the 8th inning, and it only takes them what? It takes them the half inning that you're batting to get. But if you've got 2 tough left-handers, or let's say you've got Judge coming up in the 8th inning, Judge and Giancarlo. I don't even know if Giancarlo's still alive. But whomever, if you've got two really good right-handers coming up, you pitch Presley in that inning. And if it's the other way around, if they're going to be coming up in the night, if you've got, I guess Soto's going to hit right around Judge, so that's going to be awfully difficult. But if you got tough left-handers in the 8th inning, then you pitch Hader. To me, why is it that this guy has to be here? And actually, A.J. Hinch, he believed in that as well. Now, he had a closer that he went to, but he always said, I got to pitch my best guy against those guys. And I think that's the smart thing to do when you got 2. I mean, these are both top-of-the-line, all-star closers. I think Presley fell off a hair last year after he was on our show.
Oh, yeah, I would blame you if things went poorly for a
Literally, right after he was on our show, he blew a couple of saves, and he hadn't blown a save in
Makes sense.
27 outings.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but he I don't know. Do you trust Presley?
The man sitting in this chair normally would say it never feels good
No,
when Presley's up there
never has
because he
trusted
doesn't
Presley.
feel like it's clean and there's always a guy on, and
Right.
Presley may give up a run, but he's got two to work with, so it's still okay. I guess it'll be about how Espada thinks, but he won't go into the season saying this is my guy. We know Dusty would. He would pick a guy and that would be his closer and all this. Well, we got 2 tough lefties in the 8th, so we're not going to pitch Hader here. Is not what he would do. Hader would be his closer.
Right. Well, and it's it's $20 million. It's right at $20 million.
They're paying him to be the guy who.
It's $19 million a year. He's more than likely your closer. To me, it doesn't matter though if you can get the tough outs in the 8th. If 3, 4, 5 are coming up in the 8th inning, or 2, 3, 4 are coming up in the 8th inning, why is the 9th inning more important? I mean, that's where you can win or lose the game when they have their best hitters up there.
Now, I understand it. I just think from a optics and status
And,
thing, what are they
yeah.
going to do? Are they going to take saves out of Hader's
However,
pocket
there
to
are-
pitch in the eighth?
There are very few teams that have
This type of
Yeah,
but when it was Lidge, when it was Dotel, Lidge, and Wagner, they had a set. It was 7-8-9.
Yeah.
And any of those guys could have got outs, but it was always going to be that. And Wagner was the top of the
Yeah.
heap, so he
Well,
closed
but
games.
Lidge was just coming up then.
Yes.
And afterwards,
these are veterans.
Lidge established himself.
And Presley and Hader are the veterans.
premier closer.
They're certainly veterans.
They're both, yes. They're both established themselves already. Lidge was just on his way up. And Dotel, too. No, Dotel was wild. I'm going to tell you who this. There might come a point. If you know what? I'll bet you there will be a time in this season where Presley's like I love Hader. And Hader's like, I love Presley. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. There's going to come a time when Abreu is better than, maybe not better than both of them, but you're like, I trust Abreu just as much, if not more, than both of those guys. And Abreu is actually earning his wings to be that guy anyway.
But with signing Hader, it's probably going to be Abreu someplace else doing it.
And then when August and September come, and your next closer, Lance McCullers, is back.
What?
Yeah.
Your next closer. When is he going to be the closer?
In his 5th year of this 5-year deal.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
he'll be better by
Will his arm still be on his shoulder
know if it's
at
still,
that point?
If it's still attached. But
Okay.
if it is still attached, if his arm is still attached. I mean, honestly, if dude comes in, unless the rotation is really struggling, but if Hunter Brown is in a groove, or Kitty's in a groove, Javier's in a groove, Fromber and Verlander, I'm telling you, this is still a team. I think Hader has made this. I know. Well, we need another. You don't need another bat. You got plenty of bat. Look at Arizona last year. You know how you got there? Well, Strami. You got there because of Strami.
Uh-huh.
But you got plenty of firepower in that lineup. And now you are fantastic. I think the best back end of any bullpen. And your rotation, if they live up to what they're supposed to. And not only that, but you got Garcia coming back as well. You got McCullers, maybe.
Oh, don't include McCullers. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend like there's anybody depending on him.
After missing like the last 6.5 years, we expect them to come in and just
be dominant, right?
Yeah, right.
Be McCullers in the 2017 postseason. McCullers, is that what you think is going to happen?
Talk about the bag. Somebody getting the sleeping bag. Holy crap! 17 a year.
Bury me in the H is right. Your career's been buried.
Wow. It's just good to be Lance McCullers and just collect.
Do you think you'll recognize him if he's on the? Are you gonna be like, who's that guy?
Because he's gonna be doing his hair all the time.
Okay. Well, if Lance McCullers